Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. I'm your host, Naomi, and it's Saturday, the day before Easter. And it's been a really busy day. I just finished watching Boone Builds. He's been on I think an 8-hour stream because he just reached 30,000 subscribers. So I was watching him for a while and I realized, oh gosh, I got to start streaming soon. And it just goes to show you we have such a great community of builders here. So for those of you who do not know who Boone Builds is, it's Boone Langston, one of the bearded builders who is part of Lego Masters Season 1. And as you know, him and also Flynn DeMarco and Richard Board were part of Season 1, in addition to Crystal Star X and Amy DD. Those are the ones that I know the best. Also Sam's Brego and Viva Lego. Those are the ones that I keep in touch with the most. But I tell you, it is amazing just how generous these people are. I know that I've been chatting with Boone separately about some other things that I hope to make an announcement in the next week or two. So, hey, Brickman Mosaic Art, how are you? Great to see you. And yeah, I'm really excited. I don't want to say anything preemptively, but I would think in the next 2 weeks or so, we might be doing a little minor collaboration, which should result in some big things. So, hope you're doing well, Brickman Mosaic Art. I know that you've been busy streaming as well. I think that most of us, because Boone is such a big name, he had a lot of people watching him today. So if you're wondering where everybody went, most of us were watching him just a little while ago. And he has, I think, about another hour to go before he's going to be wrapping things up. But yeah, so today I was thinking about, as you know, Saturdays and Mondays I reserve for MOC building. I do a lot of sets on Twitch because Twitch is a longer format. And on YouTube, I try to keep things somewhere in the 2 to 3 hour range, sometimes shorter depending on what's happening. And I was thinking about this some more, that I'm working with Brick Huntress, who is another wonderful builder. She's known for her mosaics, but she's also spearheading this collaboration, I believe, along with 9 Brick City, where it's hashtag Let's Build a City. And I think Brickman Mosaic Art, you're also involved in that. And I had reached out to her because I really didn't have time to do a new modular, and I asked her if I could include my fountain, and she said yes. So I had built a fountain for the Tricky Brick stream, and that was fountains and water elements, and that happened to be on a 32 by 32 base plate. And I had just converted it to the MILS standard because, as many of you know, those base plates are kind of flimsy. And I figured, you know, I need to move these over to MILS anyway. And that's part of what this episode's going to be about, is that I had this Pier MOC that I had been working on probably for the last 6 months or so. And I had submitted a portion of this to Tricky Bricks, and it's going to be a big part of my city. And yesterday we were talking about the airplane, the mail plane that I've been working on. And so I thought for today what I would do is take a look at my pier, at least the portions of my pier, determine where I'm going to put the mail plane. And the other exciting news that I'm super psyched about is that I just picked up the Black Widow helicopter. I literally picked that up yesterday. So I think what'll happen is I'll probably build that in the next week or so, because I was mentioning when I had talked about building the mail plane that the mail plane is a one-seater just for the pilot, and the pilot delivers his mail. And I was thinking, you know, it would be good to have a multi-person transport plane or a helicopter. And as I was browsing around, this helicopter is perfect. It seats 4 people, from what I understand, and in addition to the pilot. And then on top of that, you have there's a back door that allows you to put like a little vehicle in there. I think it comes with like a little, I want to say, like a motocross bike, something like that. Yeah, so I'm stoked about that. That's part of what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, so I've been, as you know, when you're sorting and building, my desk is a bit of a mess, but I think I was able to at least make enough room to kind of show you where I'm going with this whole setup. The other thing is that I took a look at the camera because yesterday I was building the mail plane, and I used this camera setup that Tiago Catarino had recommended. But since I have a multi-story MOC that is part of this, raising the camera is going to be a little bit more challenging. So I do have a tripod set up as a backup, but we'll see how things go. So anyway, yeah, I'm really excited about the evolution of my city as far as how it's going to come about. Right now, I've been working on, I have the Parisian restaurant. And the Parisian restaurant's the only modular that I have that's official Lego. Everything else I've built has been from scratch. Or I shouldn't say from scratch. I did mod the Heart Lake City lighthouse, and I took the ice cream shop and I put the ice cream shop into a full modular on a 16 by 32 base plate. And then I also modified a juice shack from the hidden side. But composing everything and putting them into a wharf scene has been something that I've been working on. Now the challenge I have is that I've been going horizontal. I haven't been going vertical as much. So coming up with enough, I guess, real estate to kind of put this together has been a bit of a challenge. So I did want to share with you, though, that I think based on the conversion I did just the other day. So we were watching The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on Tuesday night. And so Tuesday night, just a few nights ago, during the movie, I converted one of my plates to the MILS standard. So I wanted to share with you a little bit about that. And as I was looking at it, I said, you know what, this isn't going to be that hard of a conversion as I had thought, because I had already moved some of my things over to kind of that standard already. So I think what I may do is we'll probably start with the pier, two portions of the pier that I have. So I have one portion which is going to connect with the section that I had already converted. And I have another section of the pier, and we'll see how far we get with that. And then the last thing would probably be the ice cream shop. So that's the plan for today. We'll see how far I get. But anyway, yeah, so let me show you my down camera and show you what's happening here, because I'm super excited about this because, like I said, I just did this conversion Tuesday, and I'll give you a sense of the difference. So this is right here. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Oh no. See, this is what I talk about desk space. This is my light. So the light is kind of in the way a little bit. So let's see how far I can get with this move. Yeah, it's been just really, if you do things step by step, then it isn't too overwhelming. And I think that's what I like about these base plates and such. Okay. So this is what I have at the moment. And this is my converted base plate. And the conversion, for those of you who remember this, is that this, and I guess maybe if I move this forward a little bit, you'll see the difference. And so if you take a look, So here's my ice cream shop modular. And then you'll notice that it's right at the base plate level. And what I've been doing is I've been now converting all of my modulars, one bit at a time to this MILS standard. And the MILS standard is really just to give you a sense. I'm going to lift this up. All it is, the MILS standard, is a base plate, a brick, and a plate. Now, I did notice as I'm looking at this, I need to modify the corners a little bit because the corners need to have a Technic brick in the corner over here and in the corner over here. So I can modify that pretty easily. And then you'll notice that I'm going to tilt this up a little bit, hopefully, or actually maybe I can do it this way. I'm going to move this. This is going to come crashing down if I don't do that. You'll notice one little tweak I had to do is that there is a row of plates here. And part of the reason for that is because I'm using these 4x4 plates underneath. And because I'm using those 4x4 plates underneath, it is not giving me enough room. I couldn't just make it 7. So when I had built it right on the base plate, I mean, I technically could if I wanted to break it up into, maybe a 3x3, but I have all these 4x4 tan plates. So I just went ahead and did that, and I just show it on this level because I do like the spacing. And if you're into modulars, you probably already know that this is your sidewalk. Then you have a 1x2, which is for grills and drainage. And then you have 2x2s, and then it continues on into, the other portions. So this is kind of the setup that I started with. In fact, the original were these two, just these two pieces. And then I added a medium module, and let me see if I can do this gracefully. There's a lot to be said when you don't have a whole lot of table space. But behind me is the Christmas tree plaza that I had set up for this. And if you remember when I had set this up, remember I had streamed right around Christmas time? Well, this is part of that. So what I'm doing here is one of my flags fell down, so I'm trying to put the flag back in place. All right. So this may start looking familiar to you. This is the Christmas tree portion. And if my table was longer, this would be right next to this. And that's what makes it longer, is I just slide this out and I would put this portion with the tree in. Well, as you know, it's no longer Christmas time, so this can come out. I will probably leave the flags in place. Oops, sorry about that. This is what I mean about not having a whole lot of space. Okay, so I will probably leave the flags in place and then put maybe a kiosk or something in the middle. Originally, I was going to do bumper cars, and I still have my bumper cars here. So in a way, I mean, that is a possibility. I can put the bumper car arena back into play as an option. But I think right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with this portion. This will be an extra, but I'm going to stick with that for now. It's more visually appealing, and I think for now it should work out. Okay, so like I said, Christmas tree is coming out. I already took a voodoo ball off of this, so I need to, if you remember, the voodoo ball went onto this MOC. So I need to take this off and put it back on the tree, and it'll be back to its normal state. So you probably notice that when you're working with MOCs of various sorts, you end up having to take pieces and parts from other MOCs or other sets in order to complete some of your artwork. So this is now, I think, I'll have to go back and look at the instructions to make sure I put the yellow in the right place. But yeah, so at least it's in its rightful home. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So going back to, if you can see this, let me move my light out of the way for a moment. You can see this here. And let's see if I can put my light back so you can see my face. And like I said, this is very precarious because of just how much desktop space I have. So I'm just going to turn the camera over here so you can see what I'm working with. So this is a cable for my camera, which is currently, the other thing I figured out is now I know how to turn off the follow face feature. So the drunken camera person has been fired. No longer a part of this setup. But so as you know, this was originally set up so then that way you could have this going all the way across. But now that I've made this into the MILS standard, I'm going to have to raise this up and have it, you know, somewhat at the same distance. Now the other thing I have behind me is I have this, which is an additional part of the railing. And I think what I'm going to do is move this across with those 4x4s that I had mentioned. And the other thing I need to do is, as I said earlier, I need to make this compliant with the MILS standard. And I have a MILS Baseplate, just to kind of review what the standard is. And in this, you'll see that there are 2 studs with a brick, and then you have 4 studs with a 1x4 Technic pin or Technic brick. So I need to change this up a little bit in order to match that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off so I'm not having that run all over the place. I think these seals will be okay. I think they're secured pretty well. But I think the very first thing I need to do is make this compliant. And as you can see, I'm a little bit off here. So I'm going to pop those off, get some 1x4 Technic bricks and put those in place. In fact, let me get those ready. Okay, I'm looking through all of my gear and my, you know, it's almost like I run into this problem every time, is that I'm looking behind me for my 1x4 tray and it's not in my bin over here. It's like, it would normally be here, my 1x4s. So I might have to take it from another place. Let me just look around. This is what happens when you're building and then you're trying to stream and trying to do all these other things. But the 1x4s are important. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Because like I said, I have a couple of different options. I think, let me check. I'm also looking at these too. You remember that I converted my road plates, but I didn't use 1x4 Technic bricks here. It's like, Brickanista. Like, the other day I was building the pirate ship, and the pirate ship, I couldn't find the mast. And then now in this case, I'm looking for my 1x4 Technic bricks. And like I said, normally I'm not this disorganized. I'm usually pretty in good shape. So essentially I would be taking a 1x4 instead of a 1x2. And the problem is I can't just put 2 like this because the spacing is going to be off. Let me double check. I mean, if I wanted to, I could take them off of the Orphan. I call this the poor Orphan, which actually might not be a bad plan, because right now this particular base plate has never been connected to anything. Yeah, so this might work for now, because you can see that you can connect on the outer edge. In fact, why don't we do that? I can always replace those later. So we're going to take two 1x2s, and we're going to put those in the positions of 3, 4, 5, and 6 on this side. So let me go ahead and pop that off. And oops. Whoa, that railing just went flying, didn't it? Okay. So you notice I had just a standard. Okay. All right, so we want to make sure these are here. And this can go back. And then I want to see if the blue is kind of nice, because the blue will connect here. And I was just looking at some blue. I think I have a blue 1x4 that will work. If not, this dark blue could work too. And you notice that when you talk to builders, many of them have already a pretty sizable collection. I'm not one of those builders. I don't have a big collection. I do my best. I will say that. I do my best with what I have, but I don't have a large collection like other people do. All right, so I'm going to get by with black, because black works with everything. And like I said, we're just converting this so then that way it will be compatible with the MILS plate. So we got that going on there. We got that set up. I probably could just put a 1x1 there. Let's make it white. Yeah, this will be fine. And like I said, I can always pull this off and do this again. So this goes here, and this goes here. And you can see that's a nice little connection. And then I will work on the other side to make this MILS compatible. And once again, we have the same issue on this side, where we're going to have to pull these off. Yeah. And like I said, when I was doing this, oh hey, Cowboy Cornado, how are you? We were just talking about I'm doing a MILS conversion, but unfortunately I can't find my 1x4s. It's like I'm having this problem where I can't find my bricks where they're supposed to be. So anyway, so I am putting a 1x2 1x2s instead. So that's the plan. So I'm going to be doing this because this matches up. It's just the middle hole is a little off. And so I put that in the, I know I don't have to explain this to you because you already know how to do this, but how are you? I saw your contribution to the collab, the Let's Build a City collab. It looks really, really great. You did an awesome job on that. Okay, so I need to find a 1x3 to fit right there. Yeah, I think the thing that I'm really excited about is that, you know, there's so many people doing these really cool collabs right now. And Brickman Mosaic is also involved in this because I just updated my description. that was on here. Let me zoom in a little bit on this. Yeah, I'm using this new setup that I had mentioned with Tiago's suggestion. So yeah, so Brickman Mosaic is in this. You're in this, Cornado. Zay City Toys is in it. And Brick Huntress let me put my fountain in, so I'm super stoked about that. Okay, so I've got those two, and then I'll put them over here as well. And I can just pivot this over. Yeah, I'm starting to like this setup. I also have a tripod set up if I have to go taller, but that looks like it's gonna work over here. Yeah. So anyway, I'm converting my my pier. I did this during the watch party for the first Brickanista watch party. I was doing this. In fact, I think I need to move that over. Yeah, so that was fun. I was really we had to jury rig it a little bit, but we got it done, and that was fun. That was fun hanging out with all these people. Okay, now if I remember right, I think what I did is on the back I had, yeah, there we go. Okay, I can put this down here, and like I said, I can move things around a little bit, but this, at least the most important part, is to make sure that you have the connectors here at the right positions. And if you work on a big collab with a lot of people, often the corners you can designate as your colors. I'm not doing that today, but I know some people do that. So. Oh, Aubrey, how are you? Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Cornado. Yeah, I was really impressed with what you did with your Dr. Hare's all species clinic. That's great. Hey, Aubrey. Did Boone just end his stream? Because I was on Boone's channel, and he was so nice. Oh, my gosh, he is such a nice guy. Yeah, so if you look at this, what I'm doing is, this is a part of my pier, and I'm putting in some standards for mills in the corner, and I can't find my 1x4 plates. This is what it's supposed to look like, but it'll be fine. So usually you have a 1x4 Technic, and then you can have 2 studs of something. And what I usually do when I'm in a collab is I put, let's see if I can angle this. I think I'm gonna have to do it this way. Oops. See if I can angle this so you can see it. There we go. Yeah, what I usually do is I put a slope and then a red brick. Sorry, this is a new setup for me, so got to get used to it. Yeah, so that's what I usually do. And this has an interesting story. This is what I call my orphan plate because my poor plate, sorry, this little thing is really squirrely. It's not stable right now because it's not positioned right. There we go. That'll be better. Okay. Things are better now. I was wondering why my camera kept falling forward. They just ended your filling in Easter eggs. Oh, cool. So this is, I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but this is my Orphan Baseplate. I had built this back in 2000, I want to say early 2019. And I had gone to my first BrickCON in October, and I brought this base plate with me thinking, oh, this will be like my Acropolis, right? Because this is built to the MILS standard, modular integrated landscaping system. I have a road here, which is set at the right, 8 studs in the middle. And I have a river. So, this could have been integrated with any, a number of things. Oh, hey, Brickman Mosaic Art, how you doing? So, and then I modeled this after a bridge in Luxembourg. And my original thought is that my next module would be behind this, and then there would be like a little castle in there. So anyway, I was really proud of this. I really wanted to connect this to another MILS baseplate over at BrickCON. And what happened is this poor baseplate was all by itself because nobody, and I mean nobody, builds to the MILS standard. In fact, I was just at a CLUG meeting today and also last month, and I asked if anybody builds to the standard, and they say no. They don't. They said that's an East Coast thing. I said no, it isn't, because Bricks by the Bay does that. You missed out on my Instagram live stream. You had 20 people joining. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you missed me saying this earlier, Brickman, is that I was on Boone's stream. Boone has been streaming for the last 8 hours. So, yeah. Oh, hey, Remy. Great to have you here. Yeah, I was just talking about the story of my little orphan baseplate. This poor baseplate has never been connected to anything. So I thought I was this close. I was talking to Dan Keys. He's with Bricks by the Bay. And he said, I can connect this to my train collab that I'm doing for Bricks by the Bay. There's 6 people who are all involved. I said, that's awesome. And then that fell through. So this poor plate has not been connected to anything for the last almost, year and a half? It'll be 2 years in October. So my hope is I haven't dismantled it. I've been very close to dismantling it, but I like it a lot. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this, it's extended at a Hispinet, the MILS standard, and it's a landscaping standard. So the other thought I had too, and this is kind of where the whole discussion is that I'm taking my pier, and my pier is going to be in this MILS standard. And I figured, you won a minifigure on Boone's stream again. Oh, cool. Cool. So you must have been on Boone's stream at the very beginning, because I missed you, I think, there. And he was doing things. He gave away a lot of things. And I'm hoping in the next couple weeks I might have an announcement with something Boone and I will be working on. But I don't want to be premature on that. But he and I are in discussions. So I'm very, very excited about that. Okay, so anyway, the plate will live out the dream soon. I know, I feel, it's like this poor base plate has been waiting in the wings. I want to be connected to something. I don't know, maybe it's like a metaphor for my life too. It's that's something, this, and the other thing I love about this, just before I move back to that, is that this has those polished gold, what do you call them, radar dishes? Let me zoom in a little bit. These polished gold radar dishes, which I think are super cool. Yeah, you missed Boone's stream. He was streaming for 8 hours today. He was streaming for 30,000 minutes. So, because he just made 30,000 subscribers. Yeah, but he was really, really cool. He reached out to me, actually, yesterday, because the baby build I did with Darth Vader, Darth Baby, Super Darth Baby, is apparently was very, very well appreciated and liked by several people. Okay, so today's task is we're going to be converting baseplate, the MILS standard. So you notice that I did these 3 corners with those Technic pins. So now this can connect. I should have mentioned this for those of you who came in later, is that the modular standard has these 1x2s at positions 10 and 11 on either side. And then the MILS base plates have usually a 1x4 here, but I can't find my 1x4s for some reason. So, but this will work for now. This will be fine. And then the other thing I'm trying to standardize for mine is I'm trying to put white on the front so that it looks a little more finished. And let's see. I don't have my fountain here. My fountain's in the other room, but I just did my fountain in this MILS standard, and I put a white front using Technic pins. Sounds like a metaphor for all of our lives. I want to be connected to something. I know. It's, I don't know if this is a weird thing of mine, but every time I see that base plate, I kind of feel sorry for it. It's kind of like, I'm sorry that nobody connected to you at BrickCON. I'm sure there'll be somebody who'll connect to you someday. So anyway, so let's do this. This is the other half, which is halfway there as far as this standard. And when I was looking at this, I realized I'm really not that far from the standard, because when I built these, I built the pier up already to a brick high and a base plate tall. A base plate, sorry, I should say this correctly. Base plate, brick, plate. And you notice that I already have these Technic pins in the right place for the connecting to the modular, because originally this was connecting to my Parisian restaurant, which still may be the case. Now, the thing that I'm looking for right now is I just did the male plane, and the male plane is here. And I was mentioning that the male plane could be a watercraft. So if the airplane lands, let me shift this up a little bit. So what's interesting is that the male plane is probably, I was thinking about where am I going to put the post office. The universe has a tendency towards connectivity. We call this tendency clutch power. That's right, and may the clutch be with you here on the Brickanista Broadcast Network. Oh, Remy, if you want, it's totally optional, but on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, we give each other names of Star Wars characters. So Aubrey, for example, is Aubrey Dalla, and then I'm Brick Rainista, and then Cowboy Cornado is Cowboy Kenobi. So I don't think we've given you a name yet. So if you want one, let us know. We'll brainstorm something together. All right, so as I was thinking about this, I was thinking that if I put another water module behind this, that this would be a cool place for the plane to kind of come in, and then we could set up the post office kind of in this area. Maybe this could be another plaza or something else. But I do like putting water in my builds. So I think in this case, what needs to happen, and I don't want to push my plane off, so what I think needs to happen is that I already have some of the plates. I need to get more of these 2x2s, but we can today build this up so then at least it'll be on the same level as the other one. I mean, that's fun, but I don't know what it would be. Okay, well, we can brainstorm about this because we've been it's been kind of funny that people will make suggestions. For example, there's a Debo is C3 or is R2 Debo, and when we were talking with Max Braun, he's now Max Solo. So we can come up with a name for Remy if you want one. So you notice that right now I'm just pulling off these tiles because what we're going to do is we got to build this up to the MILS standard. And what I like about this is going to be fairly straightforward to do because I've already done half of the work. Because when I converted the other pier, I was surprised that I said, oh, I could do this today. It won't take that long. I think the hardest problem is getting enough of these tiles. See, that's great. That's a great pun. Well, I'm trying to think about, like, there's another guy who I follow on Twitch. His name is Supercomputer. And I now call him Jabba the Soup. And he says it's fine. He doesn't mind it. I was like, okay, you are now Jabba the Soup whenever you're on the Brickanista Broadcast Network. Yeah, and I'm just looking at this. I'm going to need I'm gonna need some, this has more clutch power. In fact, Remy, I have my version of e-click. Hello, I'm e-click. I don't do the voice as well as you do, but I did make an e-click. So thank you for that inspiration, because, ooh, maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should base your name on e-click, since you are the originator of e-click. Got me thinking now. Yeah. But no one cut Pizza the Hutt like Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, his name is Jabba the Soup though now. Good eye makeup. Good eye makeup. You're talking about for this? Yes, thank you. I try my best. I don't know what kind of accent you do. It's like an Eastern European accent or something. It's hilarious. So I'm channeling my inner e-click. Yeah. So like I said, I've been trying to use white on the front. So then that way I can... I don't want to use these because these are for another thing. But I do have some white 1x4s here. You said out, not cut. No one out pizzas the Hutt like Jabba the Hutt. Okay, sorry. We are very flexible here on the Brickanista Broadcast Network. Are those the bird tiles? Yes, they are from the Dots tropical one, I think. Yeah, so those are the bird eyes. So I don't know, this might be e-click's cousin, the other evil cousin, but I just thought they looked kind of cool. So I'm not sure. I think you put eyebrows on yours too, didn't you? I just think e-click has a lot of good personality. It's like, and the voice you do with that e-click is hilarious. So if you haven't been following Remy, what he'll do is he'll put e-click, e-click in his view frame. He usually is sitting like right here when he's building. So yeah, so pick up a couple of those quarter round bird eyes, and it gives them a nice little evil look. So, anyway, so yeah, so we're gonna do the same thing over here with those 1x2s. We're gonna put those here, so then that way we can connect. And I think I'm looking at it, and yeah, I need some on the other side too. Yeah. So anyway, the good news is I have a lot of 4x4 plates, and I have a couple of other things that I can use that are not that important to me as far as 2x4s, because one of the complaints that people have about MILS plates is that they say it's just too expensive because you end up having to put in a lot of different 2x4s as support structure, or 2x2s. You see those bird tiles. Sorry, I'm repeating myself here. Yeah. All right, so let me grab some of those 4x4s. Because you notice that I had these already going across. Yeah, so that's, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we might end up using instead the 4x4s going all the way across and saving these. yeah, the bird tiles, I mean, the dots bracelets, there's a couple of pieces that came in the dots bracelets that I really like. And one of them are those special quarter printed tiles, like for the, what do you call it? I'm thinking of the unicorns, for example. I'm moving this over because now I realize I don't need this overhang. I had left this overhang for something else, but for what I'm now designing this to do, I don't need that. Yeah, so I'm now putting in a couple of these. Actually, that color I might want. Let me grab a different color. Like this green, I don't really need this green. Yeah. So you could use 2x4s, you can use 2x2s. Essentially, you just want to give structure to the pier, and yeah, it looks like. Yeah. So if you haven't built one of these before, it can be very handy. And I just realized I'm going to need to move these out a little bit. Yeah. So let me move this out and move this down one. If you ever watch Bevan's Bricks, he uses, I think, exclusively the 2x2s, a whole bunch of 2x2s, but I kind of mix it up with 2x4s just because I have a lot of those. So yeah. Yeah, but I've been a big convert to this new standard because I think the what we have right now for the I'm just going to move this down one. What we have now with these base plates is just way too flimsy for my taste, honestly. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm so anxious to tell you what Boone and I are going to be doing, but I have to wait. I don't want to pre-announce something until I know for sure. Okay, this one needs a little more stability over here too. So let me add something here. Now that's a full plate, so that'll be fine. Use whatever you have the most of. Right, exactly. Yeah, and like I said, I think that as I start building more of these plates, I start to, really realize that I guess it also depends how long you plan to keep these, because if you look at Bevan's Bricks, he has some massive, and I'm talking about huge skyscrapers, and those skyscrapers, will not fit on a base plate, or I shouldn't say they won't fit on a base plate, but they will not last on a base plate because the base plates are just too flimsy. So he builds a structure like this and then builds on top of it. This may be overkill for a pier, but I'm actually pretty happy with it because it gives me flexibility if I want to move up into a bigger structure. And if you take a look at Apocalypseburg or any of the bigger builds, they don't build on a base plate. What they've been doing is they've been building on a plate and then a brick and a plate. So take a look at Apocalypseburg, Ninjago City Gardens, the Haunted House, Pirates of Barracuda Bay. They're all doing that, and I've been talking to a couple people in my sort lug calls, and we're just saying it's probably a matter of time before they just decide to just do away with base plates. I mean, the only thing that's keeping base plates around are modulars. So I think that you're going to see a lot of this kind of go away. Just my own personal prediction. I don't have any inside information, but this is all speculation from the Brickanista. But yeah, So Cornado and I have talked a lot about this because he follows Bevan's Bricks as well. And that Bevan's Bricks, you know, has been a huge proponent of moving to this standard. And it does beg the question, what's going to happen if they do discontinue base plates? Then what's going to happen is, you know, because right now, like I said, if you look at all the massive designs that have come out, they have not been using base plates. They've been using plates, and usually 16 by 16 plates, which I think is interesting. Okay, so I got to make room for those 2x2s, or 1x2s rather. So I'm going to do that now, so before I forget. As a modular builder, I hope not. Well, I mean, I guess in a way they're kind of already doing that, because if you look at the road plates are a plate and another plate on top. I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing away with these base plates and start doing 16 by 16 plates and saying that's the new standard. Well, you know, for people who have been doing modulars, you know, we'll have a conversion system for you. I don't know. I'm speculating. You know, what do I know? You know, but in a way, after they came out with the new base plates, or I'm sorry, new road plates, it kind of made me think, yeah, I think that's what they're doing. They are moving to something like that. Ah, I do have a orange one. That'll work. Well, I only have a couple modulars, but I'm starting to convert them all to this standard. And I think people like Bevan's Bricks too. I mean, if you think about him trying to convert everything over to without the base plates, that'll be a lot too. 16 by 16 is fine. Yeah, and like I said, if you just look at the road plates, they've kind of done that already. Okay, so let me take a look. All right, what I need to do is I'm going to try to put some white in the front, because, and the other thing I probably should do is this is going to come out as well. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is on this last bottom layer, this is going to come out all the way, I think. I might have to bring it out 2 more, because I have that other pier. In fact, let me show you for those of you who just arrived. Oops, wrong one. Here it is. So this is the pier, and you notice that I have 2 sets of 4x4s here. So I think I'm going to just continue with that across. That'll make sense. And my bucket of 4x4s just fell. Okay, so let's see. So I am going to, earlier I made that flush, but this one I probably want to bring out a little bit. Yeah, I've been talking to different people who don't want to move to this MILS standard, because, you know, it can cost a bit. You know, it's not cheap, because, you know, if you add all the bricks up, you know, it takes up a lot. But, you know, if you are into it, in fact, I just realized I should make these blue. I'm going to make these blue so then they blend in with the water. Oh, actually, I don't need to. I could do this layer in blue. We'll do that. Okay. 32 by 32 is finer. It's like, okay. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. I can say that because I used to live in North Carolina, which isn't too far from where you are, Remy. Someday, if I make it to North Carolina again, I will definitely see if I can head over to Virginia for a little bit. I used to teach in Virginia, over in Tidewater Community College. I don't know where you are in Virginia exactly, but I've been to the Portsmouth area for a number of different things. Okay, so I am going to put some white here. Like I said, this is just me. I've been looking at what I can do to kind of standardize my MILS base plate, so I'm starting to go with white for the front, just as a way to make it look a little more polished. Nothing fancy, just doing that. Yeah, but I'm really excited about this plane. I built this yesterday on Thrifty Thursday, or actually not yesterday, Thursday. It's all a blur because Fridays are interesting because I participate in Sort Lug, and Sort Lug has been a marathon sometimes. I usually show up around, I don't know, 11 or so, but yesterday I showed up closer to 1 in the morning because I don't know, I'm not super religious, but I just kind of felt like it was Good Friday, so I wanted to kind of respect that. Okay, so here's the, I'm going to have to match that to the other side of the pier, but let me put these down first. And, yeah, I'm really liking how this is coming together. This is going to be good. This is going to be super, super cool, or as they say here, it's dope, yo. Yeah. So once again, I'm putting the Technic bricks here so that it can connect. And the other thing I need to do is, in fact, maybe I'll move these as white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let me just make sure that's right. Yeah, that's right. In fact, I should just do that. That'll be easier. Sorry for reaching in front of the view frame, but yeah. Yeah, so there were a lot of people on Boone's channel tonight. There was Holly was there, Brian Saviano was there earlier, Dave from Dave Morgan's channel. Dave is super nice. If you haven't gotten to know Dave, Dave is a super cool guy too. There's just a lot of really nice people in the Lego community who are streamers. Let's see, what do we have there? A 1x3. Okay, I got a 1x3 behind me. It's bedtime. Okay, take care, Aubrey. Thanks for dropping in. Really appreciate that. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know Aubrey, she's been awesome handling the tricky lug. Actually, I shouldn't use pink. Pink's kind of rare. She's been handling the Tricky Lug Instagram account. So she's been awesome to work with. We just have awesome people all the way around. I'm still trying to think of a name for you. Do you prefer the light side or the dark side? That's probably a good question to start with. Are you a light side of the force or a dark side of the force? Let's see. All right, what am I missing here? Oh, that's right, I don't have to go that far. Hold up. Let's see, I think we could do it this way. I'm gonna change this out a little bit. See if we got a blue 1x3. I think I do. Yeah. I'm only putting blue in because it'll make it look nicer. It's cool. Don't stress. Okay. I'm sure something will come out. It just takes time. It's kind of like, you know, I mean, when you're streaming and talking and trying to get things put together. There we go. That's what we want. Okay. And if I remember right, this will go here to match up with the other one. And the other railing went flying off earlier, so I'm going to have to go find that. But I think it's going to look really good. So let me just line this up and put that as blue for now. Even though technically, actually I don't need it right now, because this section is going to connect with the other part of the pier. Yeah. Okay. I know what we're doing now. Yeah, this is, in fact, let me save this blue piece. Also, you may not be doing my best thinking at 1 a.m. Okay. I keep forgetting that, you know, you guys are on the East Coast. I mean, it's funny because Debo's on this channel a lot, and many of you know Debo and I are collaborating on a re-brick this challenge. And oh, here's a news flash. We may be featured in Brick Nerd. I just talked with Dave Sheffick about what we're doing, and he said he may be putting a little blurb for us every month about the re-brick this challenge. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go grab that piece that flew over. I'll be right back. It wasn't, thankfully it didn't go too far. The only problem is one of my lamps flew off, so I'm gonna have to replace that later. Okay. So as I mentioned, let's see how this is gonna look. I might have to move the ice cream shop. Let's see. Let's try something. I'm going to move my light. So, yeah, I'm in the dark right now a little bit. But you know what I look like, and I'm a little square right now. Okay. Aha, here we go. So as I mentioned before, my original layout was this ice cream shop with this portion of the pier. That was the very first part of my modular setup. And then I added this other piece, and I have another piece on top of that. And if I remember right, this should fit. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Look at that. That is awesome. And like I said, there's supposed to be a lamp post here, but maybe it's good that it fell off because I can put it on this side instead. Yeah, I think that looks awesome actually. Let me put that there for now. Oops. There we go. All right. So if you can see what I've done, here, let me angle this a little. Nice, thank you. So something I noticed is I need to raise this up just a hair because, let me take a look what I've done here. Yeah, so there's a plate level right there. So you notice I now have like this little harbor here, which I could make bigger too if I wanted to. I could put another plate in, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the water on the other side and have the plane come in to deliver the mail over here. So I do need to add another plate level to raise that up just a hair. And I can put those plates down now. So now this should be at the same level, just based on what we did. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, these, I don't have enough of the 2x2s. I need to order some more of those, but yeah, I like them too. I think too, what's nice about the MILS standard is that it's super sturdy. And when I've been talking with Cornado about this, he has some pre-made, some base plates pre-made, so then that way he can build his modulars right on them. Because I made the mistake of building my fountain on a base plate. Because you probably remember the fountain I submitted for Tricky Bricks. And it was not ideal. Here, let me turn this over and zoom in a little bit. See if I can. This is a new setup I adopted from Tiago Catarino, so hopefully you can see things a little bit better. And let me move my, I'll move myself down here so you can kind of see what's happening. Let's see. I keep forgetting that I can also slide this over. I got lots of options. Yeah, so I've been building this way using the MILS standard for, like I said, since 2019, so probably about a year and a half. And I was so bummed that I had nobody to connect to when I was at, I should have put a grill here, when I was at BrickCON. So I'm really, really stoked that Bricks by the Bay will have a, they tend to do the MILS collab, as well as now I'm getting a small group together within C-Lug. So watch out. I may convert a whole bunch of C-Luggers to build like this too. And like I said, a part of it is just because it's just so much easier to carry things around when you do it this way. And I find that that convenience means a lot. And the other thing I learned, this is somebody in Germany I learned this from Dirk Franzen. He got these magnetic, what do you call them? Like little modules that you can fit into the middle of a Technic brick. So he hammers them in, and then he can connect things magnetically. And he said it works perfectly, especially at a convention, because at a convention, you know, that sometimes the tables aren't, you know, exactly aligned. And he said if it wasn't for the magnets, so he's gotten away from pins completely. He does everything with magnets now. So that's been intriguing. I'm looking into that because now I'm starting to think maybe I will do that too. But leave the space open for the pins in case somebody wants to use pins. Okay, so we still need to add some 1x's to go here. Yeah, and thankfully I have some. This might even be, that's a 1x3. And what do I need? A 1x6 and a 1x2. I know I have a 1x2 close by. I just pulled one off. I saw it earlier. If not, I know where I can get one. Yep, I think there's one right behind me. Let me check. Okay, so 1x2. So sorry, turn this around. And of course now I'm in the way. So. trying to remember the name of one of the characters in the, I had it just on the tip of my tongue for you, Remy, for a character for you. And now that I'm looking at this, I have all these as 2x2s going across because I think that's all I had. I think if I go with another one, like a 1x8 or something, that'll look better. And I need a 1x1 to go right there. Because I think what I'm going to do, well, actually, now that I think about it, maybe I will leave the space for the lamp. It just bothers me seeing it there. I think that's the only thing. Yeah. I don't know. I'll think through that. But anyway, it's looking really nice, and I'm really, really excited about how this is coming together. So yeah, I need to get more of these gray plates. So I need more of those 2x2s. And this is where, if you belong to a lug, you can order these kind of in bulk. But I might have to put in a bricks and pieces order or go through BrickLink. But yeah, I think we're close to, I'm looking for my, I should have one more 1x8 gray plate somewhere around here. I didn't move these things too far. All right, well, let me see if I have one behind me. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Okay. All right, so you can see I've I'm in the way again. Maybe I should move myself down here. Okay, hold up. Where's my camera? You just bought a bunch of those gray 2x2s? Yeah, you can't wait to buy in lug bulk. Yeah, well, it depends too on your lug, because if the lug doesn't put that on their list, then you won't be able to order it. So if you need it, then put it on your list, and then hopefully the lug will incorporate it. Yeah, so you can see that once let me see if I can do a wider angle. So you can see here, it's a little bigger view of the pier. And like I said, if I put a water module behind it, then the plane can go behind, and then I could build the post office here. And that's, I think, what I'm leaning towards right now, is creating a post office. And for now, I can I can put the little post office thing. Actually, I could probably go ahead and put a plate, like a 2x4 beige plate there, and that could be where the post office sits. Or actually, I don't even need that. I could just do this. So we've got our little mail box. I don't know if it's going to go there, if it's going to go somewhere else, but yeah. So you can see I literally built this plane on Thursday, and I mentioned to people that my dad used to work for the post office. So I'm thinking now of adding a post office to my city. So this might be, and I'm thinking too that this can go up. So maybe the post office is on the ground floor and that there's something else on the top floor. In fact, one of the jokes we have is everybody who's got a name in the Brickanista Broadcast Network, that I should build a cantina. So I should have the Brickanista Cantina where everybody hangs out. Yeah, I'm really stoked about how this is. Originally, and this might still be the case, but to the left of this is supposed to be the Parisian restaurant. And then I also had another module here. If you remember the big pier that I had put for Tricky Bricks, that I had another plate that was here, or base plate, that had the Christmas tree in the middle. So, in fact, let me show you that. So I have this. Oops. I have this. And technically, I could probably convert this today as well. That's a good idea. You should probably do it for less than $350. Okay, yeah, probably. So I was mentioning earlier that this tree doesn't have to be here anymore. In fact, I need to pack that up anyway, because the holidays are over. It's already April. I've got a couple holiday things still out and about. And originally I had been thinking about, you know, putting in like a bumper car arena. So I had some bumper cars that I made from Tiago Caterino's template. But now I'm starting to think that this could be, maybe this is where the cantina goes. Maybe we put the cantina as like a centerpiece of the area. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud right now. Or less than the price of the actual cantina. Yeah. Well, I thought about that. The Mos Eisley Cantina, the great part about it is a lot of it's tan. So it would fit right into this this little pier. But the biggest part about the Mos Eisley Cantina are the big domes. So if I just buy those domes to put in the middle, I think that would work. So anyway, so for now, what I'm thinking is, now that we've done the left side of the pier, that maybe I can just convert the right side of the pier. Because what I did is, oops. All right, there goes the ice slushy place. Is that most of this has already been converted, just like the last one. The only thing I need to do is build out the bottom, and I'm going to need to get more of those 2x2s anyway. So yeah. In fact, I'm sure I can do this with what I have. I don't think it'll take too much more. Yeah, so you think I should go with the Mos Eisley Cantina? Because if you think about it, this is like Pier 39, so everything is kind of kitschy anyway. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to just, that's the one beautiful thing about modulars, right? Is you can move things out of the way, put things back in. Yeah, so I'm thinking that maybe there's going to be a cantina coming in here. That would actually be good. I think a cantina would be nice. Or, you know, a pub. I was thinking that maybe a pub would be kind of fun. Yeah. Okay, so for this, I think this was a handicap ramp that I put in place. I don't know. I don't think I've seen your full city. Well, you haven't, because I haven't really put my full city together. There, if you go on Instagram, when I first introduced Batmanda and Chubbin, I had shown you the ice cream shop, which is over here. So that is actually my first modular right there. And it has on the second floor a little apartment unit, and then on the top is a little loft. That's where the bedroom is. So what I'm thinking is that the Parisian restaurant's on the far left. I'm going to build a post office with this little landing area for the for that. And then what might be kind of cool is make this into a big modular where the bottom floor could be the cantina, and then the top floor could be, you know, some other things, and then put a helipad on top, because I mentioned that I just bought the Black Widow helicopter, so let the helicopter land on top of that building, and that's how people get in and out of the city. I'm trying not to put a lot of cars in my city. That's what the motivation is, if you're wondering. I have some cars, but I'm just not sure if I want to do a lot of cars. Yeah, if you take a look, the closest thing to my full city is a post I did, I want to say right around December, because it was around Christmas time. And it has the Christmas tree, it has Batmanda and Chubbin, it has a boat on the back. Right now, the way my things are set up, I have to put it on the floor because I don't really have table space. So that's kind of a drag, is that I have to do it that way. Okay, Ikluk is helping me out again. I'm glad you're here, Remy, so you can witness Ikluk in action. Yeah, I need probably a big table to set up my city in all its glory. I definitely should do that. I've seen other builders saying, oh, I just went to IKEA and got some tables, and yeah, I probably need to break down and do the same thing. Because it's actually fun building a city. After talking to Debo and Cornado and other people who have their cities, Matthew builds bricks. I mean, just being able to design the city to the specs that, you know, will work for you. I just think that's super cool. Oh, I didn't realize I had that big of a brick here. I got some long pieces. Do you have a big city, Remy? I wasn't sure if you've just gotten into modulars or if you've been, because I know you do a lot of different things. I wasn't sure how much of the modulars you do. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here with... I'm going to make sure I have enough of these. I'm sure I can make do. But I have a bunch of these I got from the Pick-a-Brick wall, which is, by the way, they often have these squares. So I load up. Yeah, my city, and this is funny because I do brick Micropolis as well, and I always have water in my cities. There's always some water feature. And when I built this was modeled after San Francisco's Pier 39. And, you know, that's where I'm from originally. And, yeah. I get very nostalgic when I think about my city. So I miss California a lot, but I also appreciate being here in Seattle. Yeah. So this will be pretty straightforward. I'm essentially making a tan MILS baseplate, you know, when I'm done with this. And then I'm going to have to buy, you know, all the plates and all of that. This one's going to take a lot longer because this little ice cream shop, you might remember, the bottom is a parquet floor of 2x2 tiles. Yeah. You're building something for Brick Huntress City Collab. Hopefully I can get it done by midday. Well, you know what she did is I asked her if I could submit my fountain. And she said yes. So I'm submitting my fountain. I have to do a 360 view, but I've already sent her a straight on shot. So yeah, so I'm in the collab. I made it. Yeah, I was really happy she accepted that. Because I wasn't sure, because, you know, when people say you need to build a modular, it's kind of like, I'm not going to have time to build a modular in 2 days, because I'm kind of late to the party. But yeah, no, she was totally cool with that. I think just people in the Lego community as a whole are just super nice. Super nice people. Let's see. Oops, this is a 2x3. And that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, so the mermaid fountain is going to be a part of the city. That's my contribution, is the mermaid fountain. Yeah, so you can meet up at the mermaid fountain if you are part of this city. Okay, I'm just checking for my, I had like this whole slew of bricks here when I got up. I know I put a lot of things down. But where did I put them? Hold up. Because drives me crazy when I think about, I just need to get organized. I think when, and I keep saying that every stream, you know, so, all right. I'm looking for my unless I put them back. Let me see if I put them back. I put them back, and I put my white 1x one bice in there too. All right, so we are gonna finish this off, and like I said, I think the more I talk out loud, I think a cantina with another building on top of it in this 32 by 32 style is going to be awesome. So we'll have the cantina with maybe a deck in the back for people to hang out. And then the helipad will land on top, so the helicopter can land on top of that. Yeah. Like I said, I get inspired by a lot of different builders, and I've learned a lot too. Oh my god, when I was talking to Debo about the conversion of Galactus, that apparently he was, you know, he built, I think, the Monkey Kid mech or some mech. He built a mech and then he said, you know, I'm going to convert this to Galactus. It's like, whoa. And he jokingly talked about getting a car seat for Galactus because that's how much he loves Galactus. Monday, is that the day the collab is due? Is Monday? Yeah, because she told me to get her my 360 photos to her by tomorrow. So I told her, yeah, I actually picked up a Lazy Susan from Target, so I could do that. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm stoked. I think it's cool to be part of this collab, and like I said, in my case, my contribution is a fountain, but it is built, and I have it converted to the MILS standard too. So, like I said, I'm very excited to be part of it. I think I was suffering from some FOMO there. Like, I don't want to miss out. I want to be part of the city. I don't know. I think everybody chooses different challenges for different reasons, and I think that what I like about that challenge, Sunday's definitely better. Okay. Well, that's what she told me. So, because I reached out to her, somebody had asked me if I was going to be contributing to that, and I said, there's no freaking way I'm going to be able to get a modular done by Sunday. And then I, you know, was thinking about it, and I said, you know, my fountain is on a 32 by 32. So maybe she'll accept that. And she was very excited. I mean, she was like, yeah, every city needs a fountain. So yeah. So, and Tricky Bricks, I think, is also participating in this challenge too. So yeah, so just the fact the Hornburgers had suggested that. Oops. I'm off a little bit here. Let me lift this up. Yeah, so the Hornburgers started with the challenge, and then, you know, a bunch of us are all involved. So yeah, in fact, I think, I'm not sure if I told the Hornburgers yet. I'll have to tell them that thanks to them and their suggestion, I'm now in the collab. So yeah. Yeah, this is good. I'm very, very excited about how this is turning out. This is awesome. Yeah, and like I said, there's just so many really wonderful builders who are all part of it. So I'm glad that even though mine's a fountain, it's not very big, but hey, and I'm contributing. I've got my little piece. And I probably shouldn't downgrade what I did because, you know, that fountain did take a lot of work. I remember I was studying. I was originally going to go with the frozen fountain, and then I found, you know, after searching, doing some searches on the web, came up with the mermaid fountain. So yeah, This is really good. All right, so I'm looking at this thinking, yeah, I've got these orange ones too. Yeah, the more I talk out loud, if you can imagine a Parisian restaurant on the left, then we have the post office, and then we have, maybe it's a cantina on the bottom and apartments on top. Because I have this one apartment here, but that's about it. We'll see, but there will definitely be a post office on the island. And I keep calling it an island, so I think I've already decided this is going to be an island. I was joking the other day about that if you're a jerk, you're immediately voted off the island. No jerks allowed. So, there's too many jerks in the world. We don't need them on this island. So, yeah. And that's, I think, the other beauty of creating your own island is you can decide what's allowed and what's not. And the cantina is a place to hang out, which is probably why I'm leaning more towards a pub. Because, you know, with the pub, you have games. People can, you know, I don't know if you've been to England or to the any of the European pubs, but they're just very cool. You know, it's just a cool place to hang out, and you know, you even have families there. It's not like a sleazy dive bar. I think that's why I like pubs better. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to call it a cantina. I think I'll call it a pub. And then you can play darts. You can play pool. Hang out, have a drink if you want, but you don't have to have a drink. Yeah, I have a couple friends in London, and this nonprofit I belong to, they have their meetings at pubs. And so what's cool is that after the meeting's over, is you go upstairs and you just kind of have a pint, chat, hang out. You've never been anywhere in Europe? Well, Scarebeck and Lego House, it's on my bucket list. It's definitely something I want to do. Yeah, let me adjust this camera a little bit. Yeah, I used to have this camera set to follow me. Oops, it's falling over. And we were joking, it was like a drunken cameraman following me around. But I turned that follow face feature off. Okay, we're almost done with this. This is awesome. And it's a satisfying feeling. I think I don't think for this stream, I've been streaming for an hour and a half. I don't think I'm going to get to the townhouse because it is, that's going to be a lot more work. Let's see, I think, yeah, the parquet floor is going to be a nightmare. Having to pull up all those tiles, I'm not looking forward to that. All right. Oops. Am I missing a square? Oh, there it is. Okay. Cool. Look at that. So if you can imagine that this will connect with the other one, I might have some gray tiles, the light gray ones. I have a few, so I can put at least this part of the sidewalk down. But it's those gray 2x2s that, yeah, as you know, since both of you do, or all of you do modulars. Looking good, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was mentioning on my stream the other day that I talked to a couple other streamers, and they said that they don't like to do MOCs on camera. And I said, I like doing MOCs on camera. You know, I feel like it's good getting feedback from people about what you're doing, right? Okay, so I think thankfully I had just enough to do that trim. And then what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to put in a brick link order or bricks and pieces and get a bunch of these 2x2s Here, let me move my camera out of the way a little bit. Kind of show you where we're at. And let me, so if you can imagine, let me angle this down a little bit. You can imagine that this is going to connect there. And I still have to think about what am I going to do with this. I might even make this a little shorter so that it's more, you know, like right to the edge of the water. Maybe I'll take one of those out and have it stop there, so then it opens it up a little bit. In fact, now that I'm talking out loud, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense to do it that way. So there you go. I just did it. So that opens that up, that area up a lot. So I'm going to do that. Put this here. And where is Ekluk? Ekluk, I need you. Uh-oh. I thought that was a 1x4. Is that not a 1x4? It's not a 1x4. Okay. Well, you know what I have to do. I'll do that off camera. All right. I think there's just one more thing I need to do, and that is on both sides of the back. What are you building? Oh, hey, how you doing, Robbie? I am retrofitting my Pier MOC to be MILS standard. So the last thing I have to do, I'm going to put these down, pull these off. The last thing I have to do for this is I need to make these so then I have those. I can't find my 1x4s right now, so I'm going to be putting in these 1x2s here. Yeah. So I'm just doing this conversion. I don't know if you're familiar with the MILS standard, Robbie, but it's a standard that's recognized by several different locations. And I'm converting my MOCs so then that way it can connect later to other places using this standard. And I just realized, why do I have 1x2 with axle holes in here? These don't belong in here. Like, no, did not want that. Yeah, so anyway, I've been doing this because I've found that having the strength here with these and having these to be able to connect. So you notice I already have these 1x2s for modulars to connect to another modular. And what I need to do is just do the corners. So that's one corner. And then we have to do this corner. Yeah, I've got 2 more sets. Yeah, once I find my 1x4s, I'll replace all this, but just for the sake of, in case I need it right away, I can have this ready. So yeah, so I have this city that I've been working on. This to the right, I know I need to move since Robbie, you've never seen this before. That this is a little ice cream shop. When I'm done with this, I'll show you the interior of the ice cream shop. I have an ice cream shop and a, what do you call it? Like a little loft. And what I'm doing right now is just making sure that this MILS baseplate has the corners set properly. And I may just have enough. I may be a little low because I just realized I have these 1x2s with the crosshair axle hole in the wrong bin. It's like, these are not supposed to be here. This is not good. Okay, so we are going to do this. And then I think that will be, that'll be a good place to call it, because if I start working on the, as far as this conversion, I'll show you the the interior of the ice cream shop, because that's going to take a lot of work, because I'm going to have to pull up a bunch of the tiles because it's got a parquet floor. Yeah. So yeah, so this is just a standard. This one is probably as plain as you can get. But it's all part of the big pier, right? So I'm going to get some 2x2s and some 1x2s. Actually, I might have some 1x2s I can put down now. I can't remember, but I think I have some. I think these are dark gray, or are these the light gray? It's the light gray. Aha! I do have some. Not a lot, but I have some. Might as well use these. Cheaper on BrickLink instead of going to, okay. All right, I will check on that. No, I appreciate that tip. And I think I might have some dark grills. So I can put the grills down and some of these. But yeah. I think that's the thing when you get into modulars, is that you have a lot of orders that you gotta wait on. So yeah. Let me see if I have some grills. Dark gray grills. Okay. And I guess the other thing, you know, I haven't really thought about is the lamp post. I need to start thinking about lamp posts too, where to put them. Okay, so I need some more of those 1x2s. I need some more 2x2s. And then that will finish that off, and then I could build the cantina over here. So yeah, cantina / pub. Because since we're doing the Star Wars names. Actually, minifigure collector, you might have a good name to give to Remy Baker, who is on the chat with us. We're trying to think of a Star Wars name for him. Because you also go by Avernus Workshop, which is another option. Okay, so for you, Remy, or for you, a minifigure collector. Actually, Remy, I'm not sure if you've seen it either. I know Cornado has seen it, but the interior of my ice cream shop. So this is my very first modular MOC. This is mine, my own creation. I have adapted essentially a Heart Lake City ice cream shop that came with the lighthouse. Let me just connect this because I noticed my power might be going low. Sorry for the shakiness. Okay, I'll feel better now. Okay, so let me take this apart so you can see it. Now I will tell you, I had to dismantle a portion of this for another build, but at least you get a sense of what's inside. You haven't seen this? Oh, okay. So this is the interior of the ice cream shop. And as you can see, this is why I'm not going to do this on stream, because having to take those tiles off, I mean, I could do it another way, because the other thought I had was I have this 32 by 16 here. So I was going to build this up and then transfer the bottom layer over here. But I don't think today is the right day for that. But anyway, so yeah. So this was part of a Tricky Bricks stream that I did share this. And I'm hesitating because I could have sworn I had the back of... Oops, sorry. It's like everything's all awry. Okay. Well, anyway, let me just show you. So what I did is the interior, as you can see, is, and it's got windows on both sides because I had imagined this to be like on a corner. So you might have a road here And then this always has been a part of the pier, so that when you look out, you can see the pier and the water, etc. Tiling is one of your favorite things to do, but it's tedious, especially if you're trying a few patterns. Exactly. So this, I really liked the color combination where I went with the that light green or mint green with the white. And so the original, if you look at the Heart Lake City Lighthouse, had a little ice cream shop next to it. So this printed, or not printed, this has got a sticker on it. It's a 2x4 with a sticker. This 2x4 with the sticker came with it. And then this actually did not come with it. This came from the Lego Movie set with all those different, the ice cream man and other things. Nice effect with the alternating 1x2. Oh, thank you. Hey, Glenn, how are you? So when this, I showed this on a Tricky Brick stream when I introduced Batmanda and Chubbin. So Batmanda was here. This is why I have those jumpers here. I had Batmanda here and Chubbin here. And then this, you know, the thing about doors is that in Heart Lake City, they're either transparent like this, they're translucent clear, or they're white. Mint looks lime. Oh, sorry, yeah, it's lime green. Thank you. Yeah, but so this little stand was in the Heart Lake City shop, and most of the Heart Lake City Friends sets, they're open, they're not enclosed. So I enclosed it, and in this case, I had taken off the back because I needed to show a conversion of something else, and I just had it here. Hold up. Ah, here it is. All right. So I did this conversion to show the height of the base plate with the new road plates. So you can see that here, this was actually not the original back. This is not the road side, this is the back side, but I just wanted to show during one of my streams how this would match up with the road plates. You're doing well, just watch the first episode of Laugh-In. Wow, that's a flashback. Okay, so anyway, so this here should be on the back of this. So if you can imagine that this is the back side of the unit, and this was the stairwell that goes up to the back. Okay, so you can just imagine that. I mean, if you wanted to, I could convert that, but I'm going to transfer it over to the next base plate anyway, so I figured that'll be for another stream or off stream. Anyway, so here's the second part of the modular. And this is probably what I'm most proud of, is I did all the furniture in here. And so this is, you can see there's a TV, there's a sofa, there's a dog waiting for the owner to come home. There's a little lamp, corner lamp. I've got the stove and a kettle, and then I've got also the sink here. And then I had to take the door off for another project, so I've got somebody I'm going to meet with to get some doors. But you can see on the inside there's a little, you know, painting there. It's got a sink, it's got a toilet, and it's got a shower. So there's the shower. And I have to also think of a mechanism for the spout. So I've got those two jumpers for that, or two snot bricks. And then the other thing that came out of when I was streaming is that this part is the part I really love. Okay, so when I first put this together, when you looked at it from the outside, in fact, this is probably a good view. See how it looks all cluttered, right? From the street view. And then as I was looking at this, I said, you know what? There's room there. And then I created these translucent 1x2s on a 4x4 white, and it slides right in here like that. So and then it makes a nice finished look. So I put that in, oops, make sure they're all like that so you can see. And then this locks it in place. Like that. Oops, did I have it the wrong way? I think it's like that, yeah. So anyway, so that was something I discovered while I was streaming, and I was like, that is dope, yo. Yeah, so there you go. So I liked the Heart Lake City, the color scheme, but I added some other details on my own. Like, for example, the other thing I found with Lego is that it drives me crazy. There's not very many doors without windows. So I wanted a door without a window, and the only one I had was this like color. And look, there's Emma. There's Emma. They're greeting you. And so this is the back of the ice cream shop. So, but that stairwell that I showed you earlier comes up here, and there's like a little patio. And then this also, this is very important because this is a ladder that you take to go up to the top of the loft. Okay, so this is the back. So yeah, so this can go here. Yeah, so as you can see, I tore up a lot of this to make that demo. And the other thing I'm really proud of about this, it took me a long time to figure this out, is I'm going to show it to you from this angle, is that you can see that I have these clips attached to this plate with the bar. So that's attached to the roof, and this, I'll just move it slightly, is that this is the loft window, which comes in at an angle, it fits perfectly. So that stairwell that I showed you earlier comes right up here, and there's a little platform, and then just beyond this railing is the bed. And I know it's kind of hard to see. Maybe you could see it through the window. Let me see if I can get some light in there. Let me see if this light fixture will. Oops. I don't know if you can see in there, but there's a bed, and then there is, oh, oops. Would be good. Well, that's good. It's swooshable. So there is a bed there, and then in the corner is a dresser, and then the lamp fell off, but you can see the stud. There's a little stud to the left of the dresser. That's where the lamp is supposed to go, so I got to put that back. But this back roof slash, and you know what was the inspiration for that is there's a movie by Alfred Hitchcock called Rear Window, and there was a pianist who would play, you know, so Jimmy Stewart would look out on the courtyard, and there was a guy who was a famous pianist who had this amazing window that he could look into, and he would play the piano. And so anyway, that was the inspiration for that back window. Swooshable, roofable. Yes it is. So anyways, let me put this back in a frame. So like you said, so I was very proud of this. This was my first attempt at a modular, and that was because I got invited to partake in the Jurassic Park modular, which I still need to do. There's like so many projects I need to do. But anyway, this sign is, why is this sign falling down? All right, stay. All right, here we go. Okay, sign is back in place. We've got that. Okay, so I think that's probably a good place to stop. That's been almost 2 hours. And like I said, I still have to order some parts to work on the sidewalks. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to convert this into a MILS baseplate. And then once that's converted, oops, sorry about that. Once that's converted, you can imagine once I convert this over, then I can just start transferring things over to this plate. And then I can convert that one into a MILS plate for the future. So that's the plan. And then the other thing I'll be working on is probably coming up with an idea for the 32 by 32 cantina / pub. And it'll be a multi-layer building with a helipad on top. I think that's the plan. I've got to build the helipad or the helicopter to see how big it is, because somebody said what's great about it is it'll hold 4 people. I'm going to go back to full screen. So anyway, what's great about the helipad is that it'll fit 4 people in, or the helipad, the helicopter. It's the Black Widow helicopter. I just got it yesterday. And what's nice about it is it's like black, so it could be like an executive helicopter. So if I don't put the stickers on, or maybe put stickers on later, I'm thinking that that's going to be great for the city. So that helicopter will land on top of this building that I'm going to create. And I just got to see what the dimensions are, because if you notice, this little plane that only fits one person, or one minifigure, takes up almost, in fact, here's a road plate. Here's a 32 by 32 road plate. So you can see that just this one little plane takes up a lot. So if the other one, the mega carrier, is bigger, maybe it'll fit diagonally. I don't know. I'll have to see once it's built. Once it's built, I'll have a better idea. But that's the direction I'm going in. So I've got a post office I got to work on. I've got a cantina I've got to work on. I've got a helipad I need to work on. I've got the helicopter to build. I've got to convert the ice cream shop to a MILS Baseplate. So where's the pirate ship? Oh, the pirate ship is in the green screen room. So I will be back in the green screen room tomorrow at 9 o'clock. I will still be here tomorrow at 1, though I'm thinking I'm not sure about tomorrow at 1. I think I'll still, you know what I could do tomorrow at 1 is I can still continue with this. Maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll plan things out that I can start moving the, I'll create another MILS Baseplate out of the 16 by 32, and then we can move things over. In fact, that's probably a good plan for tomorrow. And then tomorrow at 9, I'll work on the helicopter. That's my plan. And then I'll show you the pirate ship. Yeah, so I have like 4 pirate ships that now are on top of my dresser, or not my dresser, my bookshelf over there. So yeah, so there you go. So that was fun. That's 2 hours of converting. So now I have 3 modulars that have the MILS standard for my pier. I do have to convert a few more things. I have to convert the townhouse. I have to convert my Parisian restaurant. And then I need to, like I said, start building the helicopter, the cantina / pub, plus the helipad, wherever that's going to go. Yeah, I think it's actually going to look really good, because the little airplane is going to sit on the water behind the Parisian restaurant. The helipad will be on top of the cantina / whatever I decide to build on the 2nd and 3rd floors of that. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to come out really good. But it is my city, so of course I'm going to like it. And my city has seals as well. Let me see. Let me move this out of the way, and I'll show you real quickly my seals. I don't know, were you here, Glenn, when I showed the seals earlier? I wasn't sure. I don't think Robbie was here. Addicting, right? I don't know if it's addicting, because I can step away from it. I don't have to be working on modulars. Let's see. Okay, so here is the original. I'm going to go back to my down camera. And I think addiction is a charged word. I would say it's what's the word I'm looking for? It is a guilty pleasure. That's what I'll say. You were not here? Okay, so let me go back to my down camera. Hold up. Okay, so I've just inserted the original pier. So this pier was connected to this little ice cream shop, but you notice now that I've converted this to the mill standard that the ice cream shop is too low. So that's why on a 16 by 32, I'm going to have to create another MILS baseplate and then move that to that. And then now this has been expanded. And what I did early in the stream is this left base plate over here. This one, oops, let me get this to stay. All right. This one had come out to here and came across, because originally it was supposed to be like a patio area for the Parisian restaurant. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a post office location and have the mail plane land in the water and then go to the post office. So the post office is going to go here somewhere. And then I put the little mailbox right here. And then I had to add a little bit of plates to get this here. And what I like about this, better than the last time, is I kept the water at the base plate level. So now it's got more depth to it. And there are my seals, because this is an homage to my hometown, San Francisco. And there's Pier 39, so it kind of is a Pier 39-ish kind of look. And then you saw the other plate that I just finished, which is just a completely tan plate. But even though my 2x2s, I'm going to have to order a bunch, even though those aren't in, I could still work on the building itself. And I have a couple ideas for that. One thought, too, is somebody said I should probably convert my haunted house to this standard, too, so that the haunted house ride could be part of it. A pier post office. C-mail. That's right. It is. Exactly. That's what it is. I don't know if this is the seaplane. And if you notice, and I even read up on this, this is an Arctic area. So a lot of people bought this to add to their winter village. And what I'm doing is I'm going to change these landing skis into like, what do you call them, pontoons? So I'm thinking about using these slopes and then adding the Technic piece so it'll connect. So this will be what it lands on. But yeah, so I think the seaplane's going to land on the water for the Postal Service. I've already decided that it's an island. So this city's not going to have a lot of cars. In fact, I'm even thinking the city might just use mopeds and bicycles. Because, let's see. I thought I had my moped here. Well, the Parisian restaurant came with a moped. And I thought I had it right behind me, but it's somewhere. So I figure if I got a bunch of mopeds, then also the small plates would work well. So it'll be like a walking city / bicycles and mopeds. And then the way on and off the island is with these transport vehicles. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so the post office is going to go on this plate. This is going to stay intact. I'm going to move or maybe what I can do is I can leave the ice cream shop here, and then to the right of that is where I can put the all electric vehicles. Yeah, that's possible. I'm still thinking though that I may not want cars at all. I'm thinking still mopeds and bicycles, but then again, if it rains, you probably do want to drive a car. But an electric car, that's a good idea, because I was doing some research. The Friends set, there is an electric vehicle charging station in the Friends set. So that's a great point, Glenn. Maybe I need to pick that up. Is that putting in an electric vehicle station? So anyway, so I think this will be... maybe I'll leave this here, And then to the right of that, I'll add that other base plate. I know this is reaching, but this could go here. And then the cantina can go there with the helipad. Yeah, maybe I'll leave that there. That might actually be a better move, because since this has windows on both sides, if I have this with a little walkway or something, then that way I don't have to have a road. Yeah, I'm glad you said something. And now I've got to look at those electric vehicle stations from Friends, because I was just browsing through it and I saw that and I was thinking that is actually kind of cool, even though Friends sets always seem very incomplete to me. Okay, let's go back to full screen. Okay, my friends. Well, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed that. We had a chance to look at Brickanistopolis, the minifig version. I have usually used Brickanistopolis when it comes to talking about my my Micropolis city. But now that I'm kind of working on modulars, that this is working out really well. And I've been into modulars for just a little over a year. It hasn't been a whole lot of time, but now that also, like I said, I've got the Parisian restaurant. The next modular that's a Lego modular that I have been eyeing has been the bookshop. So I'm thinking that I may need to do that before it goes out of stock. I probably will not buy the police station. Friend set starting points. Yeah, friend sets are interesting because that ice cream shop was based on a friend set. But the friend set, it literally just had maybe the countertop and a portion of, a complete set. So I enclosed it and made it, two or three stories. I do think that now that you've mentioned the electric vehicles, I may pick up the electric vehicle stations just so I can have those. But yeah, it's fun. And, like I said, Cornado, I will challenge you that I don't think it's addicting per se, because I can put this down and work on something else. I think it maybe Lego as a whole is addicting though. But yeah, I think what I like about modulars is that you can also change your mind on things, right? Because originally I was going to go with the bumper cars and doing a little fairground at a pier. But now that I've been thinking about this helicopter and how do people come on and off the island, now I'm starting to think more of the cantina / pub / lounge area kind of thing where people hang out. And then don't forget, I also have my fountain too. So that's another reason why I was thinking not as many cars, because I was thinking I could wrap this. So next to the pier could be a park. And the park would be where the fountain is. And yeah, I can quit anytime I want. Are you guys saying I'm addicted to this? Come on. All right. Okay, maybe I'm a little addicted to it, slightly. But I build ships. I've been doing the Rebrick This challenge. I've been doing other things besides modulars. So I think... I don't think I'm only doing modulars. In fact, if you tell people what is the Brickanista known for, modulars will not be the first thing that comes to mind. Most people will say I'm known for either the Super Sewer Baby stories or I'm known for pirate ships. That's usually what they say. Now, speaking of baby builds, you remember I had mentioned that I submitted the Darth Baby build where a sewer baby becomes Darth Baby. And by the way, there is no super Darth Baby. I checked, so I just started using that hashtag. So Boone sent me a text message yesterday, and he said that my build was nominated to be a finalist for the Imperial March baby builds. But I told him, I said, I'm not sure if it qualifies because it's technically a mod rather than a mock, because I took the base of that Darth Vader transformation set and I converted it into baby size. And of course, it was my concept to use sewer babies and to use Darth Vader, and I put on the cape on the baby, and I also, filmed it. So I don't know. I told him, I said, I'm not offended at all if you guys say, look, that's not technically a mock, it's a mod. But just the fact that they would, they reached out and said, I'm a finalist. It's like, that's cool. That's dope, yo. It's dope, yo, right? So, yeah, thank you, Remy. I thought it was great, too. I wasn't expecting much, honestly. But I think I just had a lot of fun with it. And I think just the rise of Darth Baby, I just think it's hilarious. So, and I'll let you know. I should know in the next couple days. But he asked for permission to use my video for, his social media stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. Just, I don't think, like I said, I don't know. I'll have to ask around. You probably saw some good news. I got recognized by Tips and Bricks. Thank you, Tips and Bricks, for recognizing me for my film. So I did a film that got the first runner-up prize or honorable mention at BrickCON last year. That was Quantum. It was a student film that I did when I was in Santa Rosa. And that was a combination of live action, 2D animation, and stop motion animation, all wrapped in one in a 5-minute film. And so I got recognized for that from BrickCON and Tips and Bricks. That's what they showcase. So when it goes back to, I am not known for modulars. Let's put it that way. Nobody, when you say the Brickanista, they're not going to say, oh, yeah, she does modulars. Just like you say Brick Huntress, right? She's known for mosaics. I am not known for modulars. So I am still going to stand by the I am not addicted to modulars phrase. I've done a variety of things. I think, I can't remember if it was you, Glenn, or somebody else who said that I have multiple levels of geekiness, and they go very deep, multiple ways. So I'm just thankful that I got recognized, honestly. To get recognized by Tips and Bricks, and then in the same week to get a text message from Boone saying my baby build was something that was, impressed the judges. I was like, wow. I mean, that's cool. I don't know if I'm going to win a prize. And I think if they really meant just MOCs, exclusively original MOCs, then yeah, they should disqualify me. But if a mod does count because it's an original concept of an existing build, yeah, I'll take the prize if they're going to award one. And then I'll have something else to build on my stream. But I do want to be very clear to everybody that I fully recognize I am not the engineer of the turn mechanism, the U-joint, and all of that was in that build. That was all Henrik Anderson, who did this rise of, or the transformation of Darth Vader. It's an awesome set. In fact, I think I mentioned it on the stream and I was demonstrating it, and people said, yeah, they saw that set, but they didn't buy it. And once I showed it to them on stream, they're saying, oh man, I should have gotten that. And it's really cool engineering. So if nothing else, hopefully I showcase that and somebody else is going to get some visibility for that. But I will keep you posted. I will let you know. Boone is working. And there's another thing that I've asked Boone if he'd be willing to help me out with something. I don't want to give it away yet. But if he's willing to help, then I might be collaborating with Boone on something. So that's exciting too. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to say that it's going to happen, but we're in discussions right now. So I'm very, very excited about that. Okay, my friends. So I will be back here now that I'm talking out loud. I will kind of pick this up again tomorrow at 1 o'clock, finishing, or I shouldn't say finishing, but starting on the conversion of the modular to another MILS baseplate. I'm going to take a look at what I have as far as my base plates, because I'm literally out of my tan 4x4s, but I have some others that I can use. And then we'll move the parquet floor over, and then the second and third floors I won't have to worry about. So that shouldn't take, hopefully, too long. Hooray, collab. Hope it works out. Yeah, I do too. Have a good night. Okay, take care, Remy. Yeah, it was great. Thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to think some more. Oh, wow. Hi, Joel. We were just getting ready to close this down, but great to see you here. Yeah, and Remy, I'm going to think of a name for you. I haven't been able to think about it off the top of my head here, but yeah. Yeah, oh no, my late, well, I mean, I started at 9 o'clock, which is my usual time. So I've been going for what, 2 hours and 14 minutes now? So, I mean, I can do a quick recap if you want, if anybody wants to hang around. I know, I think Cornado's still here, and Glenn Copeland and Robbie, I think you're all here. It's up to you guys. I'm happy to go through a quick recap for Joel. And yeah, I've been doing a MILS conversion. In fact, one more thing is I was mentioning, I was talking about the story of my Orphan Baseplate. So, this is my first introduction to the Modular Integrated Landscaping System, or MILS for short. So I had heard that BrickCON was an awesome convention to go to and that I should participate. And I said, you know what? I just learned this standard. I'm going to bring a MILS baseplate with me. So I registered, for the conference. I registered the baseplate and I got there. Nobody else builds to the standard. So I've been calling this my Orphan Baseplate because it is never connected to anything. It's all ready to go though. It's got, all the connections, and it even has, the road standard, which is 8 studs across. It's got the water standard, so if we wanted to connect it to a river, we could. But nobody here in Seattle builds to the MILS standard. So I'm actually getting ready to start a MILS discussion group within Seattle, in the Seattle Forum, because there's a couple people interested now that I've introduced this to them. So anyway, this is the basis. So if you take a look, it's a plate, oops, hold up, a base plate, a brick, and then another plate. And this is something that a lot of the builders are now moving to because this is super sturdy. I mean, this thing isn't going to go anywhere. I had recently built the fountain on a base plate, and it was a disaster. And I had converted it to a MILS base plate, and it's awesome. And I was having a conversation with Cornado about it, and he goes, you know what? You should just have some base plates already pre-made, in the MILS standard. Yeah, Baylug is always doing MILS, exactly. Yeah, so I used to be in Baylug, and I learned about this in Baylug, and then I moved to Seattle. I said, okay, I'm going to bring one of these to Seattle, and nobody here does one. So I think I'm going to be introducing them to this. So anyway, so I was talking to a couple builders about, using this because Bevan's Bricks, who's a streamer also on YouTube, he uses this standard a lot for his big skyscrapers. And if you look at any of the larger builds, if you look at, for example, Apocalypseburg, they don't use a base plate at all. They use a plate, a brick, and a plate, and then it's super strong and they can move it places. Same thing with Pirates of Barracuda Bay. They did that. The Haunted House, they did that. It seems that the base plate is important for the modulars, but if you're going to do anything larger, you really have to convert over. So what I've been doing on the stream today is I've been taking some of my Pier builds and mocking them and revamping them into the MILS standard. So you can see that this one I recently did. This one is now going to be the base of a cantina / pub with a helipad on top. So, and then I'll go to my down camera. And I know if some of you have seen this and you don't want to review, I completely understand if you want to drop. That's not a problem. But for Joel, just to kind of give you a sense, I don't know if you remember on Tricky Bricks when I shared there's my ice cream shop. It's a great idea. It can get expensive though. Yes, it can be expensive, but it also goes back to portability. If you are trying to move a bunch of these to a show and they're in the base plate format, they fall apart. So what you missed, Joel, is that I had started with this one on Tuesday night when we were watching. We had a watch party of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. and that the good and the bad, the ugly, I was converting this particular module, and I almost had finished it. And then what I did is this one to the left of it. Let me see if I can just turn the camera. And let me move my face over. Move this over here so you can see it better. Yeah, so over here I have another base plate, and originally that was connected to the Parisian restaurant, and it was going to act as a patio, so a patio seating area. Well, I filled it in because this was not here before. I filled this in. You remember the pier. Okay, good. Well, that's what I was doing, is I was revamping the pier, and the main reason why I wanted to revamp that pier was because I just built the plane, which is this. So I built this on Thursday's stream, the mail plane, and we were talking about how it has these little skis on the bottom because this is meant to be a winter plane. And as we were talking on the stream, I said, you know, I think I can make this as a, you know, a seaplane, and then this can land over by my pier, and then I need to make a post office. So what I've decided is that this plate, base plate on this side is going to be a post office and a landing station. I mean, the plane's not going to land here, it's going to land on the water behind it. Yeah, so I've got to put a water plate behind it and maybe put something else there. So anyway, so we've got this new edition of the mail plane. And as we were talking Thursday, we were talking about that plane isn't big enough for any kind of large transport of many people. So instead, what I'm doing is this part of the pier, which originally was an expansion of this, and then we had the Christmas tree in the center. This now is going to be a cantina / pub, and then on top of that is going to be a helipad, because I bought the helipad, the helicopter from the Black Widow series. That mail plane is great for Winter Village sets. Yes, it shares the same color palette as the bus from the Winter Train set. Oh, I was wondering about the color palette. So anyway, so I just realized if I build the Black Widow helipad, it's going to need someplace to land. So I figured if I make this a cantina, because originally this was a plaza. So if I make this a cantina / pub, and then on top of it, you know, I can make maybe, I don't know, another living space, and then on top of that would be the helipad. So this is going to be essentially a bigger building. In fact, if I really want to go crazy, I can make this like a big office building. Maybe put a cantina on the bottom and multiple floors of office space, and then put the helipad on top. But we'll see how crazy I get. This is where it gets dangerous if I talk to Debo, because Debo builds things on a huge scale. So anyway, so that's what you missed, is that I converted my base plates, and then I am also, since you've seen it before, I also showed the interior of my townhouse / ice cream shop here. And what I'm planning to do for tomorrow is I'm going to take this 16 by 32 and make this a mill standard, and then transfer this over to that. And then we'll free up another 16 by 32, which can be used later. So yeah, that is the plan. So that's what you missed, Joel. You got the you got the Cliff Notes version of that. It sounds super interesting. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed that. So yeah, it's been interesting. Cowboy Kenobi claims that it's addicting. I don't know about addicting. I refrain from using the word addicting, because addicting makes it sound like it's a bad thing. I do think that if you're passionate about it and you enjoy it, then I think I called it a guilty pleasure, right? That it's something that you enjoy, that you can do. So yeah, a pier for the win. Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm glad you like that. And as I was mentioning, and maybe I'll bring this out at another stream, is that when I had Max Braun on as a guest, he's big into Micropolis. And I've done Micropolis cities too. And my Micropolis cities always have water. And my cities have water. I just, for some reason, like to have water in the cities. And as I was talking to Joel, is that I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to not have a lot of cars here. It's going to be mostly an island, is what I'm envisioning, is that this is an island community and that anybody who's a jerk on the island gets booted off the island. So I don't have to have a jail, is that I can just have people, booted off the island by the mayor or what have you. And yeah. And then the other thing I have is my fountain. So I'm trying to think how I'm going to integrate the fountain with this little city, which is another reason why I think it's going to be mostly a walking city with maybe a few electric cars. I think Glenn had mentioned that. And I did literally just see the Friend sets have this electric charging station. So maybe I'll pick up a few of those. So it'll be a community with electric cars, with a nice mermaid fountain, with a water post office where the seaplane brings letters back and forth, and then the helicopter lands to bring new people on and off the island when they need to. A guilty pleasure is watching The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Okay, what is the definition of a guilty pleasure? Because, for example, I have this bar of chocolate that I've been eating today, and like I had it before I had lunch, right? I was thinking to myself, I probably should have a healthy lunch before I eat this chocolate. But then again, I said, and in fact, here it is. I have mentioned this on a previous stream about how I got introduced to this chocolate at a chocolate tasting recently. Here, I'll hold it up to the camera. You might see it. Theo chocolate. And I know that this light might be too bright. There we go. So root beer barrel is this particular one, and it tastes like root beer. It's got a combination of anise, vanilla, and wintergreen, which I know sounds disgusting, but I like it. It also has these little crunchy bits in there, which is kind of like almost like a toffee. So this is my latest favorite chocolate bar. It's dark chocolate, it's vegan, it tastes like root beer. So we had this kind of discussion about that. So I've been having bits of this chocolate bar throughout the day, and I was thinking, is that, am I addicted to chocolate, or it's just, it's a treat. A pleasure that makes you feel guilty. Oh, okay. Well, all right. So here's a good example, right? I felt a little guilty having some chocolate before having lunch. Right. So somebody, Max, in fact, asked me the other day, what'd you have for breakfast? And I usually don't have breakfast. I usually have, in the first thing in the morning, is I have a cup of lemon water with a little bit of maple syrup and some cayenne pepper. That's my first drink in the morning. And then I'll have lunch. And then, so I usually don't have breakfast. I'm usually not a breakfast person. But today I had some chocolate before I had my lunch. So I had my lemon water, had some chocolate, and then I had a little bit of lunch, which were dumplings today. I had some chive dumplings. But it's basically enjoying something that is not held in high regard. Okay. All right. So, all right. What's another term then? That if you enjoy modulars, but it's not necessarily addicting. I think that's what we're going for. Chocolate is universally enjoyed, so I would not call that a guilty pleasure. Oh, okay. Well, see, I called it a guilty pleasure because you're not supposed to eat chocolate before you have your meal. That's why I think Good one, Joel. Okay. Okay, well, maybe, see, I'm not an addict at all. I just do things that, you know, they're, what's the other term I'm looking for? A victimless crime, right? That nobody's getting hurt by me having chocolate before my lunch. And if I work on my modulars, as long as I'm not, you know, taking away from my other projects, which I don't think I do, because I can work on a modular and then I can work on my ships and I can work on a variety of things. I recently have been also working on this little project. In fact, this might be something I finish tomorrow too, because this needs to be done by the 4th. You may remember my little draw this in your style. So Joel, you were telling me that instead of plates that I should build this up with, you know, snot bricks. The problem is I don't have a whole lot of black. So that's why I'm doing that. Exuberance. You just ate an entire Cadbury bar in one sitting. I don't feel guilty. Okay, well, see, I'm glad. See, this is like therapy, right? That here it is, I'm feeling guilty for having half a bar. See, I haven't finished it. I had half a bar of chocolate today before lunch. So I felt a little guilty for that, but now you're saying I don't need to. Okay, this is great. You know, we'll call this is like the hedonism channel. Right? Just drink some wine, have some chocolate, do whatever you want. Right? I don't know. There's got to be another phrase about enjoying something that isn't addicting. That is just something that you enjoy doing, that you love sharing with people. And that's why I was saying it's just something you're passionate about, right? And it just so happens right now, modulars are kind of a cool thing. I was so excited. I think you may have missed this, Joel, that I reached out to Brick Huntress about using my fountain, my mermaid fountain, and using that in the city. She's doing this Let's Build a City collaboration. And she said, yes, absolutely, I can submit my fountain. So I didn't have time to build a modular. And that's kind of, I think, how this conversation kind of started, is that I kind of wanted to be part of that collab, but I didn't have a modular ready to go. I mean, I had my ice cream shop, but it's also in disarray because I had taken it apart. So I just think this was a really good solution. You feel full and maybe queasy, but not guilty. Okay. Well, see, I need to hang around with you, Joel, more often. Because then, in fact, I need to ask you, have you finished your VW Bug or VW van, your camper van? Have you started on that? Because for the Jungle collab, which I'm also part of for Bricks by the Bay, I'm thinking about converting that VW camper van into like a ramshackle, rusted VW that was found in the jungle. And my inspiration for that is this John Krakauer book called Into Thin Air. And this he also wrote Into the Wild. And it's about the guy who went into Alaska and started living on his own off of the land. And he found a bus, and he lived in the bus for a while. Too much of a good thing. I would call building many mills exuberant creativity. Okay, I like that. I like that. It's exuberant creativity here on the Brickanista Broadcast Network. I like that. Yeah, exuberant creativity. Okay, so there you go. So Cornado, we're now going to use Cowboy Kenobi. We will be now using... We are now one with the clutch, and the clutch is exuberant creativity. So, anyway, this is great. You guys are really good for me as far as helping me reframe and rethink about how my relationship is with Lego, because I think that the circles that I tend to associate with, that not a lot of them understand what it means to be an AFOL. In being an adult fan of Lego, having this group of people who understand that, we're fascinated not just by the playability of things, but it's also, there's an artistic aspect of this, there's a social aspect of this with collabs. The Jungle Collab is a 32 by 32 mils. Will the VW fit on that? Well, see, that's the thing. It's going to be a ramshackle one. So it might have the doors, may not all be there, or maybe half of it will be there. Yeah, may the clutch be with you. That's right. May the clutch be with you. And that's another phrase we say here on the Brickanista Broadcast Network. It's may the clutch be with you. And it's dope, yo. Those are the two phrases that we have here. But yeah, I think I am registered for the Jungle Collab. My idea is that the adventurers will come upon this ramshackle, deserted VW bus, and then the VW bus is a place that they find shelter, just like this. If you haven't read the book by John Krakauer called Into the Wild, it's a short read. It's fascinating about how this guy decided he wanted to live off of the land in Alaska. And I think in the end, I don't want to give you spoilers, but let's just say that the VW bus was a good thing that he found because it was really important for him. So I would say that that's part of the reason why I think that's what I'm going to do. But it's a good point, Joel. I will look for my VW bus and compare it to the MILS Baseplate. I'm pretty sure it's going to fit. I'm pretty sure it's going to fit, especially if I make it ramshackle where not all the pieces are on there. I can make it fit. I could take the chassis off, or not the chassis, the wheels off of the chassis. Ramshackle VW bus reminds me of watching Lost. Yes, exactly. It's a combination of Lost and Into the Wild. And if you have a familiarity with that book, then you'll totally get it. And I think that's what I'm going to go for. The VW was once driven by Mr. Gold. That's the reason for the jungle trek. Searching for Mr. Gold. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, that'll be good. See, so I think and I had mentioned this to Kara already, that's what I wanted to do was, this kind of ramshackle, having vines kind of coming out of the VW, and we still have time for that though. I'm not too worried. That's not, an emergency build. But now that I've built the VW, I'm kind of thinking that I don't think I'm going to keep that one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it for this Jungle Collab, and then I'm probably going to break it down. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. But yeah, thank you for that. I'm going to definitely talk to Kara and to Adam and to the others about my portion of the Jungle Collab. And I do need to order those minifigs, so thanks for reminding me about that too. All right, well, cool. Well, if you wanted to join me again tomorrow, I will be on at 1 o'clock on YouTube and 9 o'clock on Twitch. So what I'll do for YouTube is I'll continue with this MILS crossover as far as the update of probably the best thing next would be, as I mentioned, converting that 16 by 32 to a MILS standard, and then building the base of the ice cream shop, and then moving the other layers over. So that'll be the plan for tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And then 9 o'clock, I'm going to build the helicopter. So I'm going to build the Black Widow helicopter and that'll be in the green screen room. I have major creators block for the Jungle Collab. My headspace is still the Coco Collab that got postponed. Well, a Jungle Collab, actually, if you think about it, there's so many different directions you could go with a Jungle Collab. I think what you need to ask yourself is what kind of references are important to you. So with a Jungle Collab, you could go Indiana Jones. For a Jungle Collab, you could go Apocalypse. What's that? Apocalypse Now, right? You could go with an Aztec theme. For me, I'm doing the abandoned VW bus. So I think, if you want to, if you're thinking about Coco, just do a real quick kind of flip and think of Aztec, because there's a lot of kind of overlap there. you could probably take a lot of the ideas you did for cocoa and make it into some sort of Aztec, you know, journey that you get into. So yeah, if you want to, you know, brainstorm some ideas, Joel, I think you know how to reach me. Okay, my friends. Well, this was fun. Thank you again. And I will go with the exuberant creativity that we have experienced here. You can see behind me, I have the Parisian restaurant over here. So eventually that will also be converted to mills too. But thankfully, I don't have a very big city, not like Debo. I have a fairly small city. And so doing the conversion now is actually working out really well. Because once I convert the ice cream shop, then I think the Parisian restaurant is the last thing to convert, and everything will be on that standard. Aztec theme or Chima theme is probably what I want to do. You have six Aztec warriors? Oh, that says it all right there. That would be amazing. That would be dope, yo. You should do it. You should definitely do it. Okay. All right, my friends, I'm going to say thank you again. You guys are great. I'm really, really blessed to have this forum to share with you some of my creations and also get some ideas from you. I mean, I learn a lot from also you who watch and hang out with me. So thank you again. It's been a lot of fun. And I look forward to seeing what you're creating as well. And if you want to join me again tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I'll be here on YouTube. So may the clutch be with you, my friends, and take care. Bye.